Come on in. Good morning. I've had a really relaxing morning today. I haven't been rushing about. I woke up refreshed. What a great way to start the day, huh? Last night while I was laying in bed, pretending to sleep, I was thinking about the new pattern magazines that I found on my last trip to San Luis Obispo. I picked up a couple of Noro magazines to go with my collection. Before I jump into that, I really like the way Noro fibers pick up an overall natural tone, even though they're using bright, beautiful colors. It always amazes me when I go out in the world, outside of the home, and I see such vibrant colors. Like Mother Nature made those colors for a reason, and sometimes they go together and sometimes they clash, but they all have purpose. It's an inspiration. It really is. You know, sometimes you walk outside and in the evening and the sun is setting and everyone looks up and they gasp, oh, look at that cotton candy sky. And you look up and it's beautiful. Or, oh, look at that baby sky. And you look up and it's got the blues and the pinks, and then you get some drifting white clouds that look like you could just fall asleep and float away. I love it. Absolutely love it. And I think that's why I was drawn to Noro. Noro is a yarn that when I first started working with fibers that were not readily available at any quick drive to my house, Noro was like, oh, I want to work with you someday. When my skill level gets there and my patience gets there, I would love to get my hands on some Noro and make a garment quantity of something, get a garment quantity of something and make something beautiful. So what better way to start was with a pattern, because I knew all the colors and I had no idea what I'd be able to get my hands on, affordably get my hands on, right? So I've been collecting these Noro magazines for a while. I usually pick them up at little yarn shops on my travels. Quite a few times they'll have like a clearance or a free section where they've gotten so many of the magazines and they haven't sold, or it's a free section or a discount section or something like that. And I'll pick them up and I'll devour them at first. I'll rip through the pages looking at all the beautiful colors and patterns, and then in the next few days, I'll take my time and I'll actually read the articles. There's always a little bit of a description on how the item was inspired in design and color and how they came together. And a lot of times there's a little information about the designer and their lifestyle or where they live or what they're doing. I enjoy this magazine. There are a few ads, minimal ads, and I appreciate that too, because sometimes I go to Barnes and Noble or I go look at magazines and I'm flipping through and I'm like, I feel bombarded with sale. I don't need to buy. That's the allure of crochet and knitting, is that honestly, when you break it down, the fundamentals are so minimal. You don't need to be overwhelmed with so much all at once. Yes, we do build a collection of tools and things that make our lives so much easier and help the creative juices flow, but it's not necessary. And I like that the magazine really does just stick to patterns and sharing. So I've collected quite a few magazines. Come closer. Come on, scoot on in. I've gotten a few magazines on my last trip. I nearly doubled my collection. And I was nervous that maybe I was picking up a magazine or a catalog that I had already had. But I didn't. this morning I took a picture of all of my Noro magazines laid out, and I took a picture, and I'll keep it in my phone, and the next time I come across a little treasure trove library of Noro magazines, I'll know which ones I have and which ones I should look at. I came across this one, this issue number 19, cost me 50 cents. 50 cents for days worth of entertainment. I could use it to prop up the leg on my coffee table if I have to for 50 cents. Let's see. So it's from 2021. But the interesting part that I would love to share with you is the very beginning. In each of the catalogs, it talks about the Noro story, and it gives a brief little history and description of different parts of Noro. This one, there's just a brief little couple of sentences. It says, Mr. Noro constantly marvels Mr. Noro constantly marvels that a small company founded by a country boy can sell his original products all over the world. Yeah, I think that would be absolutely amazing. Something that you're obsessed with and fascinated with, and then you find your people, your tribe, right? Kind of the concept of YouTube and reaching out and getting to know everybody. It talks about the making of Noro. It says that the top one, I won't bore you guys with too much reading. It says, unlike with most yarn production, the fleece is dyed prior to spinning. And this is what I found fascinating. Look at the fiber fluff. He's just hugging it. Can we go to the Noro factory in Japan and like just hug fibers? You can if you go to the Northern California Dixon Fiber Fair in October. They bring sheep in and they do a sheep shearing demonstration. And then they talk about how they plan their colorways and brainstorming and techniques, and everyone gets involved and they find inspiration and they pick and pull in the process of it. Just very fascinating. And that was about, let's see, we're already 7 pages in. So it's 7 pages of quotes from people in the factory. Who inspired this colorway? The fiber combinations, what would be really, really good to use it for. And then they usually give a little bit of a pattern, a very, very simple, basic pattern. A lot of us crocheters are starting to play with some knitting needles. Awesome. It's a fiber community. How can we use this fiber in multiple different ways, right? Felting, crocheting, knitting. Tunisian crochet intimidates the heck out of me, but it's beautiful. So there's a pattern here. It's the absolute beginner's mitts. Okay, we've made mittens before. We've made gloves. What is so absolutely beginner about this? The instructions. They are written in plain, step-by-step pictures. I can't show you, but the skill level is beginner. It says this is perfect for new knitters. They fit almost anyone and require one simple stitch. So you're making basically a block, 8 inches by 7 inches. So because it's not any complicated increasing, decreasing, 2 together, none of that. They can really just focus on explaining to you the stitch and how it's coming together. And they even go into depth in explaining on how to utilize it to its best function. That the knitting stitches will give a little, but not stretch all the way out and not come back together. It's incredible that they're giving you something so simple. And then they jump right into the pretties. I love this. Oh, I love this. Here in California, our weather is pretty much the same all the time. Yeah, we have a week or couple weeks of extreme heat, and then We have a couple of weeks, doesn't even last a month of cold. We're having fake spring right now. We just had a whole bunch of wind and rain, and now we're having a week of sun. So all our bulbs are gonna pop open and start blooming. That's what this reminds me of. See all that mud in there? And then all those flowers are starting to pop and bloom. Oh, if only it had a little spring green, huh? A vest is perfect. I really want to consider this vest. It wouldn't be too, you could wear it with just a short sleeve shirt under. You could wear it with a tank top under it and just as a, you know, a lightweight summer something. The texture in these stitches, this is a little closer. Reminds me of honeycomb. I really like that pattern, so I marked it. I'm gonna leave that one marked. I do have some Noro that I've shared and showed with you before that I got from the Lake Tahoe yarn trip. I'll show it to you. You could tell me which one of these that you would like. I like that this one's Easter. Baubles and knitting? What? Baubles and crochet. Oof. Those will wear you out and break you down, and then you'll have a glorious, beautiful piece afterwards. I can't imagine. So these these magazines are crochet and knitting. It's not even. They weigh a little heavy on the knitting side, but I don't mind because it's an inspiration to keep practicing and keep trying. That it is a technique I'd like to do well in. But here's a crochet one. Crochet baubles. That's a nice one. That reminds me of that granny square sitting over there giving me ugly looks that I'm looking at pattern books and she's sitting over there waiting to be completed. I'm brainstorming on her. I'm working on it. Isn't it beautiful? Oh, can be done in any yarn. You don't have to get your hands on a whole bunch of Noro. And it's done with Silk Garden sock. So it's slightly thinner so it'll help your drape. And then in the back of the magazines, they usually do an inspired story. In the magazine number 11, they did a star blanket. They created a star blanket and they featured it in their catalog, their magazine. Absolutely beautiful. Oh, look how the colors play and bounce off of each other. That's fun. And an artist took it another direction. Isn't it amazing? Those colors, the geometric design in it, absolutely beautiful. Overall, I think I don't really like collecting magazines and catalogs and pattern books. Kind of got a habit of it because I love to read and see what's in them, and I love the way of sharing at your leisure. I like having the resource on hand. I'd consider subscribing to a Noro catalog. I think I would. The other day I shared a baby smock with you that folded, and I said that it was an inspiration and that I'd love to sit down and pick it apart and figure out how to make like a summer top for myself. And I found this inspiration that goes along the features I was thinking. It overlaps in the back. So I think I marked this one so I can add this one to my notes and thought process on the beginning. And I like the part that the design feature that comes all the way down wraps all the way around the front of her. That gives nice balance to the waistline of a garment. And I think for a summer top, I would want a little summer flirty, fancy, lacy kind of to help lighten up the top. Especially if I'm creating it, I don't want it to be a heavy garment. I want it to be able to drape and flow. Oh, I marked these two because they're so incredibly simple. Going back to just adding one feature of flair or one feature of ooh and ah, so that your design is focused either on the fiber or the design, or sometimes they're both subtle and it just comes together. Very basic top. The design is right here in the neckline. They did a nice little yoke, like a nice little fold. On this one, they just did some very simple contrasting ribbing. Very, very simple. I think, as someone who hasn't knitted very much, that's not intimidating. really, that's a stockinette style top. Let the yarn do the work with the colors and how the colors are fading through. Let the color do the work, and then focus on your feature, which shouldn't take weeks and weeks and weeks. Oh, I tagged this one too because it's light and airy, kind of built into rectangular patterns. I like that it has some open stitch work, so it would be nice for a summer garment to wear over a tank top. Just some pretty buttons. I love my buttons. I have tons of buttons that would go amazing with a lot of different yarns I have. I have 2 more to show you, but there's not a whole lot in it. This is a Noro collection. It features one designer. There she is. Jenny Watson. And she took her pictures on set. She went to the Riley Castle in Yorkshire? Yorkshire? I'm sure I said that wrong. But she has 2 designs. Look! She made a cardigan in my style. I tend to go for those waistline pleats. Kind of like that one. And then the colors are absolutely beautiful. Oh, I liked this one. What an awesome hoodie. It's got your cowl worked into the body of your sweater and pockets. I really need to explore and experiment on pockets. So this summer top that I'm thinking about, this smocked summer top, I need pockets. And I don't need to put heavy things in my pockets. I just need to have them. I love pockets. And I don't think there's very many items that I've crocheted. Definitely haven't knitted, but I haven't crocheted anything experimenting with pockets and how to insert them. Of course, I was on the what was it? The pocket shawls. Man, I made like 100 of those. Everybody loved them because of the pocket. I need to work on pockets. And then Miss Watson designs quite a few other items that are in my wheelhouse of waistline flowing. Love the collar on that. And on here, I'm not sure how much of this. Okay, I think I can show it coming in slow, coming in slow. Yes! I love that. That's my style sweater. Nice and gracious around the middle. The sleeves I can give or take, you know, but it would be very easy to not do the increasing on those. I love that. So I definitely want to look into her some more. Thank you, Mr. Noro, for sharing Miss Watson's design concepts. Love it, love it. So I'll be able to look up her. Maybe she has some other patterns and designs that I'd love. So in this issue, number 23, let's see, display until December 2023. This is probably my newest one. And I think I paid full price for this one, $10 for days and days and hours of entertainment. Mr. Noro Sr. passed away recently. It is a family-owned business, and his son is taking over. In the beginning of this magazine, they talked to Noro Jr., and he had some very, very interesting answers to some of the journalists' questions. They asked him, what yarn color trends do you see for the spring and summer of 2024 season? And do you follow trends or make them? Noro's huge to me. I can see this answer going so many different ways. And when I was reading the article and I read the question, I paused and I was like, oh man, what is he going to say? I mean, he's taking over a family business. He's always been a part of it. So the creative process has always gone along his moral lines and everything else. But this answer blew me away. The most important thing for Noro yarn is for it to offer creative ideas and beautiful knitting experience. The same thing goes for us, the creators of the yarn. So we don't make a point to follow trends. What? That's original. That's unique. We don't follow trends. No, let's be creative and see where the creativity takes us. And in this magazine, the creativity took us to a fun twist and spin on a granny sweater. Look at that. We all have little stitch samplers or crochet techniques that we're having fun with, that we want to play with. We can put them all together. Yeah. Pick a color theme, sample a few squares, some stitch designs, and put them together. And then I see there's a little bit of work right here on the neckline to get it to fit properly. And put it on and show it off and enjoy it. Show off some new skills and techniques. This is the next to last. There's one more pattern I want to show you. Stick with me, okay? In the back of these magazines, there is, a couple of pages, and it's called Noro Global Stock Lists. And it's about, 3 or 4 pages of addresses and phone numbers all over the world that have Noro. I know! They have Noro. So in California, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 columns of Noro locations. So I was eagerly going down the checklist. San Jose, California. That is about 2 hours from me. Ventura, California. Los Angeles, LA, that's south. I've got a friend that I'd love to go meet. And then one in Los Angeles. Santa Rosa, California. That is about an hour away from me. So I was going down Petaluma, California. I've been to yarn shops in Petaluma. Let's go again. I'll bring you with me. Let's see. San Francisco, San Rafael. Those are like one bridge hop away from each other. That could be a whole day trip. Truckee, California. I've been there. And then going down, I got to this one. It says Berkeley, California. Instantly, my mind was like, Berkeley? That's just a commute away. I want to go. And then there's Black Squirrel in Berkeley, California. Oh, okay. I've always wanted to go there. Why is it the places that are so close to me are the ones that I procrastinate and don't get to? That's next on my list. Let's go to Berkeley, to the Black Squirrel. Coming down, Berkeley, California, 2. Why don't we go to both of them in the same day? What is the shop name? Tokyo Fish Market? What? Bye, honey. I'm going to Tokyo Fish Market to buy some Noro yarn. I'll be back. Berkeley's like 30 minutes from the house, but then I'll need an extra 15 to find parking, right? Berkeley's crazy. How fun is that? If you would like, put in the comments below a major city that is close to you. We don't need to get too personal with your address here on the interweb. Put a city that's closest to you. And I will look back here and I will see the name of a yarn store that's closest to you. We have Illinois, we have Oregon, New Jersey, Mississippi. Let's see, where are we in Mississippi? Gulfport, Mississippi. Let's see, what else we got? We got Michigan, Massachusetts, Maine. They're everywhere. Louisiana, Lafayette. I'm gonna have to get on Google Maps and see how close that is to my friends, Amanda. Let's see. New Orleans. Shreveport, Louisiana. Oh, I think that one might be closed. I'll have to check in with Amanda. It's fun. Leave a major city that's pretty close to you, or, maybe a day's trip. And let's see if I can find a little yarn shop noted in the back of the Noro magazine for you. That'll be fun. The last one. I've had this one for a long time. This magazine was gifted to me from the Nest Yarn Shop on the Sierra Nevada Yarn Crawl. I saw online that the little yarn shop had a sale on Noro, and it was 50% off. And it was on the Yarn Crawl. It was a Yarn Crawl special. And so when I got there, it was midway through my trip. I'd saved up money, and midway through, this was going to be my purchase. This was going to be my huge souvenir, right? And I found the Noro. I found the colorway I wanted. I found yarn quantity. I love this. I love this. I love color. But I'm a neutral earth tones kind of person for my clothing. I don't like to stand out. I don't like to be flashy. I don't like the bright colors. I'll wear them at home, but as far as a garment that I'm gonna want to wear all the time, and they're spun a little differently so you can see all the color in them. This is more like a moss growing on the side of a tree along a stream. I love it. It's got purple in it. I love purple mauves, but it's not in your face. It blends into the other watery colors. I love this. This is like a creek to me. Noro really doesn't have names like that. Not in English on their label. So I did some experimenting on Ravelry, and I found out that in English, it has 459 yards in each one of these balls. I have 5 of them. I have 2,295 yards of Noro. I can do something with that. I could do something glorious with that. And that's what started the magazines. The woman who owns the shop said that she could see how excited I was over the Noro and that this was my unicorn moment. And she said, you're going to need a pattern. Why don't you go back there and pick out one of the Noro magazines that has a pattern in it that looks appealing to you. And maybe you could find a pattern in there that you'd like to work with your new Noro. She's an angel because I want this. I want this in my life. I'm going to wear this every single day and never wash it and stink and have people say I'm stinky beautiful. I love the sleeves. I love that at any journey in my life that this is going to fit just perfectly. It's not not too tight. I think there's a picture in here of the sleeves, a little bit better on the sleeves. Oh, sorry, I didn't mark that part. Dang it. What was I thinking? It's just flipping through all the catalogs there. And so her shop is in the basement of a ski lodge. And it's cozy, it's comfortable. There's like a little fireplace in the corner for a chilly cold, just got in out of the snow. Like, oh, I want to go and stay and work on my Noro. Now this is a knitting pattern. Can't really see the sleeves. They're made triangular, coming together at the narrow part at the neck. And then the sleeves are just really lacy. And between the body part and the lacy sleeves is just this beautiful little lace window pane design. The neck on it is lovely. I could leave it up, just a mock turtleneck, just a tiny bit. I love that. I want to make this. It's knitting. It's knitting in a lace design that I have zero confidence in myself in making. But I have the yarn. I have the pattern. And it is intimidating. But to start, I need to find some 2-weight cotton so that, this is silk. I'm not going to experiment with silk. But there's cotton in it. What is the fiber content? I thought I saw it on here. Cotton, wool, polyamide, and silk. I think I'm going to try to find some lightweight bamboo or something thin, something just with a little bit of drape, and play with it. That's how I will conquer this intimidating pattern. The pattern's only 1 page long. It breaks it down into a gauge. I could start with a gauge, mess around with just figuring out how to do the gauge. Gauge is usually done with a common stitch pattern already in the pattern. It does the, you start with the back. You do a raglan armhole shaping. I can mess around with the decreases on the shaping. I'm not intimidated by decreasing or increasing because I've done the socks. I've worked with gussets. The sleeves is the lace design. There'll probably be some increasing and decreasing to get that triangular shape. The collar, I've done cuffs on socks, and oh, that sweater I made had a little neckline, a little cuff neckline. When you break it down, it's not so bad, right? There's a key, there's a graph pattern written instruction, so you could go off the graph, you could go off the written. That's the next step in the Noro journey for me. I need to find some fiber that's similar to what I have, and I need to do work on bits and pieces of the pattern and see what I can come up with. Also on my yarn journey, I picked up this single ball of Noro, and it's the Silk Garden Sock. What was this one? I thought this was Silk Garden Sock. Did I pick up two of the same? No, this is T-A-I-Y-O, Tayo sock yarn. So this is a silk garden, and I got it because it's beautiful. This has 328 yards. So this Noro is just glorious. It reminds me of a stained glass window, and I got it because it was in a clearance basket. And I thought, 2 bits of Noro in one trip? Yes! So I have this to play with, hold on to. It sits in my glass display case like a fine wine named after myself. And that's what I have today. I had a fun time looking through my magazines the last couple of days. I have been working on the peekaboo top. We're almost done. I'm just working on the body length now. I just broke into my 3rd skein of yarn and working on that. And that's it. I don't have much more going on. I have been thinking about how Stanley should be dressed for March 1st, and I'll be back to share that with you. And I think that's it. Did quite a bit of talking with you today. I love talking with you every day, as much as possible every day. My finger's better, much, much better. Still a little sensitive on the end, but much better. I can crochet comfortably for hours and not get, it was getting kind of, I don't know. We got to take care of our tools. Take care of your tools, people. Take care of your tools, and I'll see you soon. Leave a comment below with your closest major city, and I'll look it up and see what yarn shops carry Noro around you. Goodbye. Thank you for coming to visit me. I'll see you soon.